Hello, I'm Yen. I'm from Tasmania and I play taiko or wadaiko in many different forms. I'm starting this groove 100-day, 10-minute a day taiko sticking challenge mainly for my students. I wasn't expecting this many people joining from all over the world. So welcome. You can take this very seriously or not seriously, or have a little, have a little go. But it's mainly for my students just to um, clarify what we're going to do. It's 100 days, 10 minutes. We're going to do a fair bit of sticking, or in the Western musician tradition. So I play first and foremost. I'm a taiko player, but I also play a lot of different kinds of music, percussion, and so forth. And I come from a little bit of Western style kit drumming as well. So I've done a lot of different cross-cultural disciplines of sticking. Very much in the last close to 20 years, 18, 19 years of playing taiko. Learned from many different teachers, had the opportunities to learn from many different lineages and sects, and always wondered, is there a system we can come up with to teach or think about taiko in terms of, how you hold a stick and how you play? And I always found that there is a significant lack of discussions around how you hold a stick and the fine muscle control of, how you do any of that kind of stuff, and it all happens within these fingers, hands, and forearm and ulna. Of course, it's all connected, and there's a lot of taiko traditions ranging from hitting like this and full body and using the full body and so forth. And I'm not really going to touch on that much into that detail in this course, and one, to keep it so that it's very universal, that everyone can join in, and also two, that's very much every group has their own style, every lineage has their own style. So I'm more interested in, again, this is mainly for my students slash myself even. My left hand's pretty weak, as most people are, with their dominant and non-dominant hand, and I've been working on this for the last 2 years. I've been playing for 20 years or 19 years. I think it's 20 years this year actually. Anyway, and working out how to come up with a system that works for all many different forms. And I've had a lot of RSI in my right hand playing, and various other problems. And so I've been looking for a while, and I've been working on a technique last 2 years, which is sort of mainly what we'll be going into and sharing. I've learned this from Simon Barker and Chloe Kim in Australia. He's a Western style drummer that's taken a lot of inspiration from Korean style drumming, and apparently a fair few different drum traditions like Indonesian style drumming uses this. And to some extent, I think a lot of different taiko styles, especially sideways style and sort of yatai style, sort of allude to this, and you'll see a lot of players use this kind of technique. We'll get into it in a little bit, but let's start with this is day 0. So start with some basics. You will need a stick, a bachi, as we call it. I use a huan pine or light stick. I would recommend using something reasonably light, like a pine based thing, whatever your country or culture of origin, whatever you get, the lightest stick possible, because we're just working on not the stick but the mechanics of what's happening in the hand. It's designed, or this 100-day challenge is designed to be simple and accessible, so you don't have to have a taiko. All you really need is some kind of stick, some kind of surface, ideally some kind of drum surface. This is a drum pad which you can buy in most stores. Sounds like this. It has right amount of bounce, but obviously doesn't have a huge noise, so it doesn't piss off your neighbors and other things. For taiko, I actually think for realistic taiko experience, a katsugi or any kind of okero or rope tighten style drum head is great. Obviously, it's very, very loud and annoying for neighbors and so forth. So what I do is take that off. You put it on a pillow or in this case, a beanbag, and it gives you a very realistic bounce compared to which bounces much better. This is great for shime style work, but obviously for bigger taiko, I'll probably start with something a little bit more stable. I'm just putting this on for videos for the purpose of the video, but yeah, so something like that I find is the perfect balance of realistic bounce, because it does suck in a bit of energy with taiko, and how you take your body into that is part of the account of that. Again, this video is more a disclaimer talking about what we're doing, so I'm going to keep it 10 minutes long every day. This is day 0. So once again, you need some kind of bachi. I like about 380 or 400 length, depending on your size of your body and diameter and so forth, but I generally like a 380. I think some schools I've visited or some taiko groups have too short, and short has advantages of rolling, but long has sort of, I find 380 to 400 is what I like. But again, that's up to you. But some kind of light stick, something to hit on, maybe a pillow is where you can do it. Obviously, the worst case scenario is if you're in a pinch, you can put some kind of wood surface, some kind of towel or something like that, and at a pinch, that's sort of good enough to work it out. So the crux of the technique that's sort of working on, we will do some very basic drills, but we're going to take it very, very, very slowly, so it's inclusive for all, and also be very, very oriented, detailed, and also so take it more like a meditation. 10 minutes a day. We'll kick it off. I'll talk a little bit every day about the technique, so I won't overload you with everything, but the general crux of it is turning the rotational energy of the ulna and radius into most drumming forms, especially in the West. Something of that form is turning the rotational. There's 2 bones here, one called ulna and one radius, that turns when you go up and down movement. That actually turns. You can touch your 2 bones, and when you go up and down with your wrist, it's actually a turning motion. So you're turning rotational energy into an up and down mechanical sort of, I guess, piston energy. Not that it's a piston, but you get what I'm saying. So the technique mainly is to change it from a 1 pivot point, turning from a radius ulna rotational energy into a up and down motion, to changing that into a 2 fulcrum. So that and the back 1, and then changing different fulcrums. So you're throwing to the front, and then you're using the rotational energy, and you're going along with it. As you can see, it's so much more powerful and loud, and more relaxed with your shoulder. So if you're doing this, there's a bit of engagement of the shoulder. Not that it's wrong, and we will use some of those further down the line in terms of some very specific shime daiko work where you're going. But a lot of it, we're trying to learn how to use the rotational energy in one setting. As you can see, it's very relaxed. I'm not engaging any of that. It's and thank you very much. So we will get into it in day 1 but make sure you set it yourself up with a surface, ideally in sort of standing height, or on the floor, whichever you can have, but essentially roughly a natural belly button sort of length to your hitting surface. And I'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks for joining from all the people around the world. Say hello in the comments. Maybe say where you're from. And day one tomorrow.